Some things I know are true. Like, it's true that because I was a distracted kid, that because I'd forget to put new lined paper in my binder when I had written, scribbled homework and other non-essentials, I would end up in the middle of language arts in the 5th grade, furiously erasing a fully filled page of pencil scratch so that I could use it again to complete whatever task was before me. It's true that because it wasn't the first time I'd done that, my teacher, a dark-haired, fair-skinned, squat lady who could sometimes appear kind, told me she'd lost her patience with my writing paper recycling antics. It's true that because she'd lost her patience, she sent me to sit out in the hall for the rest of the class. Not quietly either. She sent me so everyone could hear. It's true that even as I sat in my shame, lulled into a stupor by the HVAC hum of that hallway, I was the only Black child in my class. I was the only child not in my class. Nobody else ever sat in that hallway. All year, that purgatory, suggesting the offense isn't grand enough to visit the principal, but it's grand enough to render me invisible. I used to try to remember what I knew was true, like the time the Holy Spirit descended upon me one evening, hovered over my bed as I prayed, and physically forced me from a seated position to one in which I resembled an open book slamming shut. Or the time I whispered to my anxious baby brother who wanted to know what happened when we died, and found the concept of a snuffing out of breath and heartbeat horrifying. I'll always be there for you. I'm your big sister, but I can be like a big brother too. I didn't know why a big brother was something he needed. It's true that neither of us knew then how threatened his breath and heartbeat were, simply by him being tall and Black and intelligent in America. I remembered that I promised him that. I still remember it because I think he still needs me to be his big brother. But the other stuff, the stuff I never really tried hard to remember, that my skin was less than desirable in the eyes of some of my peers, see incident in 4K, that even my white friends had boundaries, like not being willing to play makeover using the same hairbrush because my hair was dirty, her grandma said so, see incident in middle school. That the white guy I dated in grad school tried to put the moves on me really quickly. We met at church, mind you. And I couldn't help but wonder if, because this was both of our first time seeing someone of that race, he was eager to know what the hype was with Black girls, or worse, did he assume we were easy? That stuff I try to forget, actually, not because they're untrue, but because most people would have told me I was probably seeing something that wasn't there. Now, imagine the absolute tumble-dry flip-flop of the culture the last few weeks. Now, most people, and those same most people I just mentioned, are saying now that they're seeing something that was always there. Oh, I've read some articles and read a book, and I saw that cop murder George Floyd, and now I really know just how real racism is in our country. And here's what I'm going to do, and here's what I want you to do. These instructions primarily come through Twitter and secret Facebook groups. And before we know it, we'll all beat this thing together. My brain, my sense of equilibrium. You mean to tell me you just noticed something was off? It stretches my ability to believe that you're telling the truth. So when you walked through the middle school hall and saw the little Black girl on the floor, you didn't feel anything was off. When George Zimmerman murdered Trayvon Martin, you didn't feel anything was off. And when he didn't serve time, you didn't feel anything was off. Am I to understand that because you've got Ibram X. Kendi's book, you're now above reproach? True. Nods. Tries not to clench teeth too hard, tries to remember this is probably only good news. This is better news for my kids than it was for me when I was a kid. Tries to remember how it feels to have a blind spot removed. How when someone's hurting, we all just want to fix it. We don't want to be compassionate, to suffer with them. Tries to remember that some things I know are true, like if Cassandra was finally seen and heard and understood, wouldn't she just go even crazier?